On the news this morning, Anambra State Assembly urges ministries, departments and agencies to ensure optimal budget performance as Anambra State government targets creating digital structure in tax administration. Togo's army takes responsibility for blast that killed 7 civilians. Before the news in detail, here's a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him our maximum support for the task ahead. Anambra State House of Assembly has passed the 2022 revised budget of Anambra State for the services of Anambra State government for the year ending 31st December 2022. Our House of Assembly correspondent, Chukwuemeka Muodolem, now reports.
The House passed the budget during plenary after the majority leader of the House, Dr. Nnamdi Okafor, moved a motion to that effect, which was seconded by the minority leader, Honorable Onyebuchi Offor, after the consideration of the report of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation on the budget, which was presented to the House by Chairman of the Committee, Honorable Obinna Emeneka. The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, applauded Anambra State House of Assembly Committee on Finance and Appropriation for doing a thorough job on the revised budget, as well as members of the House for painstakingly passing the budget and read out the budget to the House while the legislators supported it through voice vote. Earlier, the chairman of Anambra State House of Assembly Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Emeneka, presented the report of the committee before the passage of the 2022 budget, which recommended that the present administration should ensure that the list of roads to be constructed in Anambra State should be specific and cover the 30 constituencies in Anambra State, that funds should be released to ministries, departments and agencies for optimal budget performance, while proper scale of preference should be adopted by MDAs during budgeting in order to achieve a realistic budget, among others.
The 2022 revised draft statement was presented to this Honorable House and was referred to the Finance and Appropriation Committee for necessary legislative action. The Committee on Finance and Appropriation, in consideration of the revised draft estimate documents, invited all the ministries and departments and agencies to appear before the appropriate standing committee for the bilateral budget discussion. This was successfully concluded and reports of the outcome were subsequently turned into various committees as I mentioned earlier. The total budget size for the 2022 budget estimate as arrived at the committee was 169,621,744,131 naira. This amount is made up of the 61,375,259,671 of the recurrent expenditure and 108,246,486,470 of the capital expenditure.
In his reaction, the member representing Orumba North constituency, Honorable Emeka Afoka, described the 2022 revised budget as a budget of economic recovery which will turn Anambra State into a livable, prosperous, smart megacity, while his Njikoka Wong constituency counterpart, Dr. Timothy Ifediorama, noted that it will enable the state government to function well. From the State House of Assembly, it's been Chukwuemeka Muodolem, ABS News.
From the House of Assembly, we move to the state seat of House, where the Anambra State government has given July 17 as deadline for the ongoing verification and enumeration exercise for tricycles, shuttle buses, and other commercial vehicles operators in the state. This was disclosed at a joint media briefing by the Ministries of Transport, Trade and Commerce, Information, and the Anambra State Internal Revenue Service at the Government House in Awka. Ejika Banan's report is taken from here.
For transport, Barrister Party Godike, studies carried out by the state government indicate that, for instance, Keke riders paid as much as 2,000 naira on a daily basis to all sorts of revenue agents, which government intends to eliminate in a very transparent manner. dismissing daily collections as not being cost-effective and astronomically high for the government. Barrister Igobike said that 600 naira per day covers the charge for using Anambra roads and maintaining the various government parks, and recalled that for 4 months after inception, the present administration did not collect revenue from them in preparation for the new tax regime. While explaining that the fund would accelerate development on Anambra roads and parks, Commissioner Igobike said that if the verification and the enumeration exercise is successful, every commercial vehicle operator can be easily tracked, which amounts to a win-win situation for everybody. She stated that people alleged to be collecting revenue illegally are now under government radar and advised them to retrace their steps or face the full weight of the law.
One of the things that they told us was that the government should ensure that the illegal revenue collectors should be pushed out of the road, and it keeps reoccurring. And we've given them the assurance. In fact, they've told us, behind closed doors, some people said, well, it might be the unions or their leadership, or there's this collection that is done by the Sons of the Soil or the PGs, and all those various people that are being alleged to be doing this illegal collection. They are now in our radar, and it is in their best interest to stop what they are doing, which they know is not right. Their members have assured us that if these people will leave the scene, that no matter what the government is asking them to pay, they can afford to pay it and smile while paying it.
On the news making rounds that market levies were increased by the state, the Commissioner for Trade and Commerce, Mr. Obinna Ngonade, dismissed it as lies, stating that fees paid across markets in Anambra have remained the same. Also speaking, the Commissioner for Information, Sir Paul Nwosu, informed the public that the state government will continue to give out adequate information to the public regarding its policies. According to the chairman of Anambra State Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Richard Madiebo, the exercise was supposed to last for 4 weeks from the date of announcement and launching by the governor, but was extended by 2 months. Mr. Madiebo noted that the new tax regime was introduced by the present administration because he wants to create an economy which is at par with what is obtainable across the world, as well as eliminate touting in the state, while pointing out that the goal is to create a digital structure around taxation so that people can pay direct to the government and eliminate loss of revenue. The AIRS boss explained that the resolution was based on an agreement with stakeholders after a series of engagements.
You get your permit to operate, you get your sticker, you enjoy discounted amounts, and you also get your savings. You can drive into any government park, like I said, to load and offload. You will be protected by government on this issue of touting, which we have started working very hard to handle. I can tell you that across the state, from what the security team is saying, a lot is being done in that regard.
Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Christian Aburime, among other senior government officials, were in attendance at the briefing.
The Awka Capital Territory Development Authority ACDA has demolished structures in Amor-Biawka South local government area erected on a stretch of land belonging to Anambra State government. The structures were demolished after the expiration of eviction notices issued to the illegal occupants by the government agency. Correspondent Daniel Eziwe reports.
Land, according to authority, was said to have been duly acquired by Anambra State government with due financial settlement paid to previous owners, said to be a collection of families. In an interview, the managing director of Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, Venerable Amechi Okuosa, said that it has become a common crime for illegal developers to encroach on government lands and even go as far as selling them to unsuspecting buyers. Venerable Okuosa noted that it is a criminal offense to encroach on government property, insisting that his office is determined to not just follow up on proper development control measures within the 22 towns under its jurisdiction, but ensure that these development moves follow due government-established benchmarks. The ACTDA boss also noted that the authority is strict in both monitoring and control, taking into cognizance the development principles of the present state administration led by Governor Chukwuma Soludo.
It is a criminal act. It's a criminal offense for any individual or community or group of individuals to take laws into their own hands. Most of the land that we are having issues with now were legally and officially acquired, and the due compensations were paid, and other emoluments that do follow the legal acquisition of lands. We are using this opportunity to warn other individuals or group of individuals or communities or land speculators that will take pride in getting into government land, that it's not business as usual. We have started demolitions within my own territory of Awka Capital Territory, which is 22 towns, and we are taking them one step at a time. But know that wherever you are, even if you've put structures, no matter how big they are, no matter how large they are, in a government land, in a piece of land that is illegally acquired, based on encroachment, we are going to remove those structures. And not only removing them, we will hold you liable to pay for the cost of the removal of those structures.
In Awka, Daniel Ezigbo, ABS News.
Nzuko Okija in Awka has expressed appreciation to the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, for appointing their own Mr. Chido Obidiegwu, an illustrious son of the community in Ihiala Council area, as the managing director of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS. The association, made up of Okija people living in Awka, appreciated the governor during a courtesy visit to the managing director of ABS in his office in Awka. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo now reports.
The president of Nzuko Okija, N'Awka, Professor Izuchukwu Obiade, who led members of the organization on the visit, while thanking Professor Soludo for considering Mr. Obidiegwu competent and worthy for the position, assured that their brother will deliver on his mandate, as he has over the years proven his mettle through selfless services and commitment to community development.
Express our appreciation and thanks to the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, for this great opportunity, identifying one amongst us from Okija to head the Anambra Broadcasting Service as the Managing Director. It is an honor, duly well deserved, and we thank him and it's also an appreciation to him. And at the same time, we are promising him that, knowing our brother, his antecedents, his track record, that he should be rest assured that the job, the task he has given him as the Managing Director of Anambra Broadcasting Service will be done with utmost care, and his aim will be achieved.
On their part, some members of the organization, including Chiefs Obunikem Asuzu and Louis Chukwukele, felicitated with the ABS boss on his recent appointment and expressed the belief that he will make the governor and Ndi Okija proud by taking ABS to an enviable height in no distance time. Responding, the managing director of the ABS, Mr. Obidiegwu, thanked the group for identifying with him and assured not to disappoint them. He reminded them that the present administration is committed to transforming Anambra into a prosperous and livable state, and encouraged them to support government's programs and policies for the realization of the lofty vision.
One critical thing that he keeps telling us: when we see something, we say something, or in fact do something. There are phone numbers that that are available that we have to call when we see something. We're going to give you those numbers, or we'll leave if you don't have the number, so that we all, if that's the only way, we also have to contribute to being part of the solution. So I want to thank you very much, and then I promise that I'm going to be part of this meeting.
From the ABS corporate headquarters in Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Considering the high demand for skilled manpower in the present Nigerian economy and the need to drastically lessen dependency on white-collar jobs, the Center for Entrepreneurship Development, Federal Polytechnic, Oko, has organized a two-day entrepreneurship exhibition and business summit for the year 2022. The event held at the Polytechnic Auditorium is the first of its kind, aimed at teaching students how to write business plans, start and manage successful business ventures, and engage in business expansion. Correspondent Emmanuel Chubata now reports.
We have tea, yes, chocolate.
The rector of the Polytechnic, Dr. Francisca Nwafulugo, and the management team were taken round the arena by the director, Center for Entrepreneurship Development, Dr. Ifeoma Ubo, to see the center's products and how they were produced. Declaring the event open, Dr. Nwafulugo urged students of the institution and youths to put keen interest and commitment in learning and developing skills that could create genuine and sustainable business ventures, which is capable of gaining them respect nationally and internationally. She noted that the Polytechnic is at the forefront of functional entrepreneurial development, adding that the aim of any entrepreneurship scheme is to promote skill acquisition and development rooted in capacity building and self-sustenance. Congratulating the commitment of the center's director and staff for hosting the event, Dr. Nwafulugo explained that the program will tackle poverty extensively by ensuring that a greater number of the adult population are economically engaged in a productive venture.
I want to congratulate the director of this unit, Dr. Ifeoma Ubo. So I am particularly delighted that Federal Polytechnic is in the forefront of this innovation. You already have a working entrepreneurship development center, and it is the goal of my administration to make it quite political. The aim of any entrepreneurship scheme is to promote skill acquisition and development, which is the root of capacity building and self-sustenance.
The Director, Entrepreneurship Development Center of the Polytechnic, Dr. Ifeoma Ubo, explained that the workshop would teach students how to start up and manage successfully small business ventures in order to make them independent of government employment that is not forthcoming.
I've been organizing exhibitions here, but this time around we decided to add the workshop. So we decided to add workshops so that we can teach these students especially how to write a winning business plan, because most of grants that they can access, before they do that, they need to know how to write a good plan, business plan.
In his speech, a resource person and one of the U.S. representatives in Africa on youth development, Engineer Prince Nwankwo, who lectured the students on business management, expansion and business plan, described youth unemployment in Nigeria as a looming catastrophe, regretting that thousands of graduates who are produced on a yearly basis by various institutions roam the streets in search of non-existing jobs. He called on the students to be attentive to the lecture in order to be productive outside classroom.
An entrepreneur is a person that refused to be paid just 12 times in 365 days. By starting a business, one, to solve problems, satisfy people's needs, while taking most of the risks and also enjoying most of the financial reward.
The Deputy Rector, Administration, Dr. Kenneth Ezekwe, Deputy Rector, Academic, Mr. Uche Onyebu, were part of the event. Highlight of the event were presentation of award and points to the Rector and team, and questions from students on how to start and expand businesses climaxed the event.
And we move to the national scene now, where we get reports that Nigeria improved on its global ranking in cybersecurity. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, said. Pantami, who was known in Abuja, said that Nigeria was not doing badly on the global cybersecurity index, which ranked 75 out of 175 countries in 2018. According to him, the country has so many initiatives to ensure that cyberspace is protected. Pantami said that Nigeria's ICT regulatory approach since 2019 hinged on the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria based strictly on developmental regulation. He said that the regulatory approach had been flexible and had not in any way restricted the sector, but rather supported its development. The Director General, Security and Exchange Commission, Mr. Lamido Yuguda, has called on relevant stakeholders to cooperate and collectively champion the capital market as pivot bridging the infrastructure gap in the country. Mr. Yuguda, who stated this in Abuja, said the capital market was capable but would assist the nation in deficiency. He pointed out that for the capital to attain full potential, all stakeholders need to ensure they carry out their functions, integrity and fairness, a bid to restore confidence. Togo's army has said it was responsible for a blast that killed 7 civilians and injured 2 more after mistaking them for jihadists. The explosion happened in the northern Tone Prefecture near the border with Burkina Faso, where militants of the Islamic State group and Al-Qaeda are active. Are deployed in the area containing spillover of the towards coastal West Africa. The army said it had opened an investigation to determine the circumstances of the explosion and identify the perpetrators. Togo's Armed Forces Chief of Staff General Daja Manganawe concluded an aircraft had wrongly targeted the civilians in the village of Magaba in Tone Prefecture. General Manganawe said in a statement the army had previously received intelligence indicating a threat of infiltration by armed gangs wanting to conduct terrorist attacks against local communities. Finally, in sports, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has appealed to the Confederation of African Cycling and Union of International Cycling to help develop the sport and partner with Nigeria by providing training programs and cycling equipment. The minister made this appeal while welcoming Africa at the opening ceremony of the 4th edition of African Track Cycling Championship inside the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. He also commended the president of the Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Engineer Gian Domenico Masari, and his board for the tremendous investments they are making to develop the sport in Nigeria. Nigeria and 14 other countries, including Ghana, Benin, Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria, are expected to participate in the championship, which will end on Sunday, July 17. The minister later urged Team Nigeria to be hospitable and good ambassadors of the country, even as he encouraged them to win the championships as they did in 2019 when Nigeria hosted the 2nd edition of the event. Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Television Oka. You can follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV or log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points again. We told you that the Anambra State House of Assembly has urged ministries, departments and agencies to ensure optimum budget performance. We also told you that the Anambra State government is targeting to creating digital structure in tax administration. Togo's army has taken responsibility for a blast that killed 7 civilians in Tone Prefecture. And that's the news this morning. Thanks for joining us. I am David Obokwasile. We remind you that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him our maximum support for the task ahead. Thank you for joining us. The Weekend Show continues right after now with Rume on Entertainment segment.